Hey everybody, it's How to Be a Texan. How are you guys doing today? It's Kyle and what's your name?
Kevin.
Hey, and we got our buddy Andrew over there.
Hey.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Well, I'm fired up. It's another episode of How to Be a Texan. Are you kidding me?
I'm excited, man.
Man,
I'm
it's
so pumped.
awesome. We got awesome fall weather outside. It's kind of
fall.
Halloweenish.
Halloweeny.
And this is the dreaded episode number 13. You're going to backtrack to episode number 13. You skipped it on me before.
We did skip it because
I know.
it's unlucky.
Well, we're going to hit it today.
So this will be 13.
That's right. It's got to be.
Interesting.
It's got to be. It's our
Interesting.
Halloween episode, and it's crazy scary.
That is scary.
I'm scared just talking about it.
I can't continue.
You need to. Be brave. So today we're going to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. How horrible is that? Why'd you come up with this idea?
For Halloween?
God, it's crazy. Leatherface.
Leatherface. Which apparently the leather was made from human skin.
No.
That's what I read.
I didn't know that.
That's what I read.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about this. So, hey, today we're just going to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but we're going to go a little further than that. We'll go to some additional kind of scary topics and then close it up. But I hope this is really creepy for you as you listen along.
I always heard growing up that it was based on a true story.
Yeah, me too.
And
I believe that.
I believed it forever.
Uh-huh.
But it's not.
It may not be, but I'm telling you.
No, it's totally not.
I know that, but there are scary, scary people in Texas with chainsaws, and I have no doubt that this could have happened.
You're one of them.
I got a lot of chainsaws. I could absolutely, but that's just not in me. I just don't see that. I don't see putting a human face on my face and going around and chopping people up with a chainsaw. That's just not in my DNA.
Thank goodness.
Golly. But I tell you, I can
get that off your chest.
I'm telling you, I can do some damage with a chainsaw.
I know.
I'm telling you. And you know, that'll wear you out. That was the last power tool that my dad and granddad let me get. You know, chainsaw is the most dangerous power tool, I believe, out there. Mm-hmm. I guess there's other ones that are worse, but it's the only one that I've got access to.
Yeah.
You know what? One time I was out trimming bushes along a chain link fence. I know I've told you this before. Mm-hmm. And you know how you're supposed to not come anywhere close to chain at all with a chainsaw because it's a rotating chain and it'll catch.
Right.
Well, anyway, I was cocky. I was about 18. And I'm like, well, I'll be fine. And so I had a baseball cap on just like this. And I was going along and I was trying to get this little bush cut. And then I just turned it and I barely nicked that chain link on the top. And it slung the chainsaw back.
Yeah, I know. I've heard this story.
And it cut my
Slashed your hat.
It slashed my hat, but it didn't get down to the hair or the skull. What an idiot. I came in and told my grandmother that. She just said, Kyle, you're such an idiot.
That is
It's a
terrible.
miracle.
Yeah. Well, that's the dangerous thing is that kickback.
Yeah, it's a kickback.
Yeah, that kickback.
Yeah. You ever chainsaw a bodark tree? I have. You know what happens?
No.
Sparks. It sparks on you.
Nice.
A bodark tree is the worst thing in the world to chainsaw through. Anyway, back to Leatherface. So tell us a little bit about this awful Texas Chainsaw Massacre story.
I've not really ever been into the movie. Have you?
No,
I don't like horror movies at all.
I hate horror movies.
I don't like horror movies.
But I read about it, and I've seen clips of it, and it scares the crap out of me.
So the guy who came up with the story, let me find his name here.
No, it's Toby Hooper.
Yeah, Toby Hooper.
Yeah.
He's a Texan.
Yeah.
Went to UT Austin.
Okay.
He came up with this story, apparently, according to this article. He was Christmas shopping.
Okay.
He was at Montgomery Ward's.
Oh, yeah, I remember that store.
Wall-to-wall people because of Christmas.
Oh, I love that.
And he was looking at the chainsaw
I do like chainsaws.
display.
Yeah.
And apparently he had this thought, I could get through this crowd if I just took one of these, fired it up, held it up in the air, did the whole thing. And he had been working on a story about, I think, some guy out in the woods, but wasn't quite sure about the story. And then that was the inspiration for it.
You ever see Christmas Vacation?
Oh, yeah.
That's an annual family tradition.
This is a Halloween episode.
I know, but I'm saying, you remember Chevy Chase? He got so upset that he finally just kind of went nuclear on his family, and he got the chainsaw out. cut down the tree, put it in his front yard, and then he went around with a hockey mask on.
Oh, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Hey, you want to hear another story?
Yes.
So when Amy and I got married 100 years ago, you know how you have a registry? You know how you go as a couple
Did
and
you have
do
a chainsaw in your registry?
Stop talking just a second.
It's a podcast. We're supposed to talk.
We had a registry, and we did a couples registry. Where you're going along, you're clicking this and that, silverware and china and whatever. You know, all that just goofy stuff. And guys don't give a flip about that stuff, right? Well, anyway, she went to a couple other stores, and then she said, well, Kyle, you can go register at one of the stores that you liked. And you know where I went? We didn't know each other back then. I went to Home Depot. Mm-hmm. And I registered for all these tools, and I registered for my most expensive item was a chainsaw. Mm-hmm. And I'll be darned if my partner that I worked with back in the day at Arthur Anderson.
He got you the chainsaw.
He got me a chainsaw, but then he was so kind that he got Amy something too nice. But
got her a chainsaw.
I still have that chainsaw. No, he didn't get her a chainsaw. He got her like a dish or something, but it was really nice.
My buddy Jay is about to get married, and they went and registered at Target.
Yeah.
And he put down like 3 different colored hatchets.
Hatchets?
For whatever reason.
You might want to throw them.
I mean,
can you imagine like a hatchet throwing contest?
I don't think he's going to be throwing any hatchets.
I would.
He's not a hatchet thrower.
That's like a manly thing to do.
What's he going to do with these hatchets?
He's not that manly. I'm just kidding. Huh?
That's another,
What's he going to do with the hatchet?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's what I asked him. He was like, I don't know.
Just it was there, so I put it on the list.
Yeah, you never know.
Just fill the list up with random stuff you would never buy yourself.
I'll admit, I've watched these lumberjack contests, and those lumberjacks, they can throw hatchets, and they're deadly accurate.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Deadly accurate. Maybe that's how we get back to the story
of
Leatherface.
The chainsaws with the lumberjacks. Have you seen those guys that get all the way up?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, stories.
Oh, yeah.
High.
Oh, and they're using that belt.
Yeah.
And they're just shimmying
they're
down
like
with
cutting the tree down as they're on the tree.
Yeah.
There's a spider, tiny spider hanging right here. No, look.
Oh, wow. This is a Halloween episode.
I can see it on the...
Well, look, he's going down the web. Wow.
Yeah, that's creepy.
All right, so he was inspired in Montgomery wards by the chainsaws and surrounded by people.
He was.
And came up, and that allowed him to finish the story.
Right.
Ended up making the movie. And then he went on to become a very successful director, and he actually directed Poltergeist later on.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So Steven Spielberg was a producer of Poltergeist, obviously. This guy was hired to direct it. He kind of became... a key director in this horror genre.
Well, this Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it really was. It was a benchmark for the horror film industry.
Mm-hmm. It was
because he did this in Central Texas in 1974, and he did it in just a number of weeks versus months or a year because he had to film 7 days a week. He had these no-name actors, and they were filming in Central Texas, and so they had to do it very quickly because he was renting all this equipment. He did the whole thing for $140,000, and he ended up making over $30 million.
Wow.
And now there were some things that they blackballed him. Like some of the theaters, they thought, because he tried to get it in as a PG movie, and it
PG?
He did.
Oh
he
my
did.
gosh.
But think about it. Back in 74, we were a lot more stringent on what we would show. And so this had such graphic horror with chainsaws and all that of tearing people to pieces that he tried to limit the on-screen horror of actually cutting limbs off. So he didn't do a lot of that. Mm-hmm. But it still was...
But you knew what was going on.
Oh, yeah. You knew what was going on. And it was so gruesome that a lot of countries outside of the U.S. banned it. And then there were plenty of theaters that they started it and then they realized, oh, my gosh, this is awful. And then they pulled it back. But it had a huge impact on really setting the stage for the horror film industry.
I read also that he intentionally had it with that grainy look and feel, like it was a documentary style.
Oh, gosh.
That was intentional.
Oh, that's frightening.
The only true aspect of it is there was some killer up in, I think it was... Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's who...
He was a grave digger.
Was the guy... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He went up
dig up graves, get the cadavers out, and eat them.
Yeah,
he was a cannibal.
Yeah, and he'd make skin, I don't know, fashion out of them.
Like leather out of human skin.
Yeah, very disturbing. And that guy ended up dying in in a mental institution.
Yeah.
I read about him.
So that was the inspiration for Leatherface. That's the only
Right.
kind of true thread to the whole thing. Everything else totally fiction.
Yeah, Edward Theodore Gain, Gein. He's the fella that was known as the Butcher of Plainfield. How do you like that?
That's a good reputation to have.
No, it's not.
And he didn't own a butcher shop.
Exhumed corpses. Ooh.
Wow.
And fashioned trophies out of and keepsakes out of their bones and skin. I mean, that is dark. So going back, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, let me just tell you a little bit, and this is off Wikipedia, so I'm just quoting internet.com, Andrew, so don't.
And don't forget, there's a fact checker out there. He's always on the
He's
case.
always out there. He's on the prowl today. All right, fact checker.
I get texts from him all the time. When's the next episode coming out?
Oh, gosh. Okay, well, this is off of Wikipedia, Andrew, and our fact checker. So the film follows. It's just got some simple characters, a hitchhiker, a proprietor, and then this family. And the film follows a group of friends who fall victim to a family of cannibals while on their way to visit an old homestead. Although it was marketed as a true story to attract a wider audience and as a subtle commentary on the era's political climate, its plot is entirely fictional. However, the character of Leatherface, like you said, and minor plot details were inspired by the crimes of the real-life murderer Ed Gain. Man, that's scary.
Another fun fact about Ed Gain.
Yeah.
He was also the inspiration for the guy in Psycho.
I wonder about Hannibal, too. You remember the Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
Where he...
Maybe he was. I don't know. But this article says he inspired the guy in Psycho.
And then what was that scary movie where they were running through the forest, and that was the first time where it was a camera when they were kind of running.
Blair Witch Trials.
Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
And they did a couple of those. And that's where they were literally running through the woods and scared to death. But I think the thing that was unique there was that they were running with the camera, so you felt like you were part of it. Mm-hmm. And then I think that really turned.
So many people thought that was real.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, that was,
right.
After it was in the theaters, people thought it was real.
That's right. So
that was crazy.
Anyway, Blair Witch. I didn't watch that either.
So
tell me about that. So do you don't like horror movies?
I don't.
But how many have you gone to?
They creep me out. Zero. I mean,
that's
maybe
not true. So back in
maybe
the day,
two.
Back in the day,
maybe
when
two
we
or
used
three.
to be young people, we Friday the 13th and Halloween and all
Yeah.
that. Did you go see all those?
No, I didn't go see all those.
Did you see any of them?
Maybe one or
and
two.
Michael
Yeah, maybe one or two. But I was
Myers
just not in. I just wasn't into it. I didn't like it.
If you're into it, it's peer pressure.
Yeah, I
Everybody
didn't
falls
like
to
it.
peer pressure. You got to go to that stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm not falling to your peer pressure.
Oh my gosh, I did, and I was scared
All
to
right.
death.
We'll download them on Netflix on Halloween. Come
don't.
over, hang out,
No,
we'll watch them.
I'm not, because even now, and I'm 100, I'm not watching that crap because it scares the bejesus out of me. I just don't like that.
Yeah, I just don't like it at all. I mean, it's not so scary because I know it's not real. It's
Right.
just kind of I don't know. I just feel like non-productive time being wasted.
I've never been into scary movies either.
Yeah.
I don't like jump scares and stuff like that.
No, I don't
Yeah.
like jump scares. I don't like jump scares.
Now, creepy movies I kind of like. There was one a while back that had Bruce Willis in it. Man, I'm drawing a blank on it. But
Like Sixth Sense?
yeah, Sixth Sense.
Oh,
That was a good
yeah,
movie.
Yeah. No, that's scary creepy.
Yeah.
But not jump scare, except that last scene. The last scene where he turns around and you see that he was shot or whatever. You're like, okay, the dude's dead. That creeped me out. Anyway, so let me tell you a story about why I truly hate scary movies. So when I was 6, I'm 6, my dad had all 4 kids, and he's like, well, let's go see a movie. Get in the station wagon. And so we go, and he didn't even think anything about it. And so we go, and I'm the youngest of 4, and he's like, all right, and he pays for the ticket, and we go on in. This is Oklahoma Billy. My dad's name was Billy, and Billy Wayne. And from Oklahoma, he wasn't thinking. And he's like, come on, we're going to go see this movie. I'm sure it's good. And the bigger kids, they all wanted to see it. And it was a movie called The Boggy Creek Monster. Mm-hmm. All right. I don't remember it. I just remember it was dark, and there was a Boggy Creek Monster in there, and he was killing people. Mm-hmm. And so this had to be, that's 1975. This is 75, 76, something around like that, because I was, it must have been right after Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out, and then all these other films came out. Anyway, it came on, and I was crying and boo-hooing, and finally I just sat under the movie seat of my dad during the whole movie. and I just was a whimpering bag of nothing.
And your dad had no sympathy.
He had nothing. Like, get under there, boy. Close your ears. Here's some popcorn.
Hand me my drink down there.
It was about
Get out from under my feet.
Yeah, no, he was okay because he let me stay up under there, and I appreciate that. But oh my gosh, ever since then, and maybe Andrew, it's that jump scare, but it was just the dark creepiness of it. About you just never knew where that monster was, and he was all dark, and it was a boggy creek, and I still can't stand the thought of that.
You ever read Stephen King books?
No, I can't. I can't stand that.
Me either.
No. Now, see, Amy, my wife, she really likes these suspense books, and I've gotten to in suspense movies like Along Came a Spider and all this other. I've actually gotten to where I can appreciate those because something bad is about to happen, and it's all a logic game to get to. It's generally like a detective trying to find a serial killer, and it's on the chase, and it's all coming to a head, and it comes to a head, and the good guy, the detective, kills the bad guy, and then it's all over. But it's a suspenseful rap, and it's always a mind twister and all that. Amy loves that stuff, and because I love her, and I'll just keep going to those. But I generally kind of don't even like that too, because it's not the jump scare, and sometimes it is the jump scare, but I still go.
Yeah.
But one time I took these young friends of ours, Karis and Jamina, I took them to see a movie when they were like 16 and 18, and they said, "Kyle, take us to prom night." And it was this goofy horror movie, and I'm like, "All right, I'll take y'all." And so I'm 100 less 10. This was probably 10 years ago. And so we go, and the most embarrassing thing was, this was opening night of prom night, and it's a horror movie. They're at prom, and there's some Jason or Michael Myers that's going around and basically killing everybody at prom. And it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. But I look around, and Karis and Jamina were with me, and we're just giggling because they're like, "Kyle, look, you're the oldest guy in here by 30 years." It was so funny. And sure enough, I came out, and everybody was 18 that came out of the theater, and here I am.
The old man.
Gray-haired old man. I'm like pervert. So anyway.
Did you ever go to haunted houses as a kid?
As a matter of fact, yeah. So 2 years ago, I took a group of middle schoolers to the Parker House up in Denton with that big strobe light that goes around every night. Yep. We're seeing that now. And it was 4 boys and 3 girls, and these were, I guess, 7th graders. And I generally don't like haunted houses because, again, back to the jump scare, but it's good and scary.
So that was more what I did as a teenager. Not the movies. It was more Halloween season. We go to haunted houses. Oh yeah. So we drove all the way out to Forney. There was a big one in Forney.
Oh yeah.
Drive out there.
So you like that?
It was okay. It didn't bother me. I mean, that was more of the peer pressure thing.
Okay.
Right? Just kind of, okay, let's go do it. I mean, I wasn't like into it. Like,
but tell me how you felt as you were walking through that.
A little on edge. It's a little edgy.
Yeah, even when you realize these people are not real.
I'm just glad that video wasn't running.
Yes.
Because you've seen some of those videos. Like they'll have...
they just did one with Ellen. Ellen had her staff guy,
yes.
And he
just screamed like a little girl,
It was a young man and then a woman in heels, and he was pushing the woman in heels in front the whole way through.
So that's how I probably was. And I'm glad there was not any video evidence of that.
Oh my gosh. Well, I tell you what, this was funny because 2 years ago at the Parker House, and this is a good haunted house up in Denton County, Texas. So I have the 4 boys and the 3 girls, and the 4 boys go through together, and then the 3 girls are with me, and they're like, "Sir, you just take, old man, you take the 3 young ladies." And so the funny thing is, and they go to our church.
Old man.
And so, so we go first, and they're like, "Oh, Dad, you go first." And so I go first with the 3 girls, and we go in, they have this intro, and then we're just going through, winding through this old Parker House, and people are jumping out, and corpses are rising, and all this. And then it ends, and so anyway, but the whole way through, all 3 girls, I'm not that big of a guy, but all 3 girls literally were tucked in on my back right here, grabbing the shirt. Anyway, one young lady, Molly, we get to this one spot where we literally have to go through this very dark doorway, and you can't see what's in front of you. So somebody jumped out behind her, and I'll be honest, I'm hesitant. There's no lights,
right.
And I don't have my phone out or anything like that giving light. It's just dead dark. And so Molly's at the center of my back, and some corpse came out and jumped them from behind, and she slammed me forward, and I went right into a brick wall. I mean, face planted into a brick wall with them on my back, and I'm like, okay, that hurt. But anyway, we kept going, and I'll tell you the creepiest thing that happened. We go around and we get in this other part of the haunted house, and you go in this itty bitty little bedroom. So you're coming around this itty bitty bedroom, and there's a chair that you have to walk past, and there's a little doll in it. A little kind of just a goofy doll. And you see there's 2 twin beds. I remember that. I mean, it was really good. So there's 2 twin beds, and you see like corpses, dead people lying in these 2 beds. So that's what draws your eye, over to the corpses in the bed. You're walking past this chair with this little bitty toy mannequin in it. And just when you get past that chair, something that's dressed up in this mannequin jumps up right by you. And I'm telling you what, I lost a load right there. Me and those 3 girls, we just lost it. And so then sure enough, and then the end was fun because the boys caught up with us, and they're screaming like little girls. I mean, they are so unbelievably scared. They're thinking, oh, I'm big, tough man. No, they were so scared.
Oh, I totally could see.
And so we get to the end, and sure enough, it was Mama Parker. You see her down this white kind of foggy corridor. She's down at the end, and you're like, we have to walk toward her. So and it's all these doors that you have to walk past, and so you're walking toward Mama Parker, and she's saying bad things to you to make you so scared. And then sure enough, as soon as you pass a door, this guy comes out of the door with a chainsaw and fires it up. And then oh my gosh.
There you go.
Oh, that was a good one. So,
well,
anyway.
I've never been to that one.
It's a good one.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a haunted ghost tour in Denton. Have you ever done that?
Oh, no.
No, you can go to the square.
Oh, no.
And they'll take you on a tour of all those old buildings around there that are supposedly haunted.
No, I'm not.
I've not done it either.
I'm not doing that.
But
I'm not doing that. I told you.
Come on.
No, I'm not. I told you about when Amy and I were young, and we went out to Jefferson, Texas, and stayed in that bed and breakfast in Jefferson, Texas.
I've been there.
Now that's haunted.
I know.
Now that's legit.
I know.
And there's other ones in San Antonio.
You had the
train
experience. Yeah,
the train came through at 2:00 in the morning, and Amy's like, "What train?" I'm not kidding.
But see, if it was haunted, she would have heard it too. The fact that only you heard it. That's more like a psycho kind of.
I'm a nut.
Yeah,
I think you're just crazy.
Sorry, I hate to break it to you.
I don't know. I guess I'm a nut. But anyway, so yeah. So how realistic do you think that is that we really could have a Texas Chainsaw Massacre here in Texas with a guy wearing a leather face?
Not realistic at all.
No,
not in Texas.
Okay,
I mean,
we got good people.
Too
here.
many people that are armed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice chainsaw.
You bring a knife to a gunfight.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Nah, I don't think Leatherface would have much of a But I'm telling you, dark, it gets creepy.
Yeah.
I just got through watching this John Wayne movie, and these cowboys, they get spooked at night. Red River, I just got through watching that. Man, that's a good movie.
We had some creepy stuff going on in our house recently.
What? Like at night?
Yeah.
Like what? Like ghosts?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But
well, tell me about that. What in the world?
Kendra and I were in our bedroom, and we heard whistling. Somebody was whistling.
Oh my god!
Like really loud whistling.
Okay.
So I thought one of the girls had it on their, playing on their iPad or something.
Right.
Like a song.
Some old whistler.
Sammy came out. She's like, "Dad, what's the whistling? It's outside of my window." And the dogs were going crazy. She's like, "It was really loud outside of my window." And I said, "Well, it was loud in our bedroom. It's on the other side of the house."
Okay.
So I opened the door, went out front, nothing out there.
Did you take your gun?
Yeah.
Did you have a gun?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I went out front, nothing out there. Went out the garage, nothing was out there.
Okay.
Nobody was out there.
Oh.
I don't know what the whistling was from.
Huh.
Sarah never heard it.
It may have been just in y'all's and Sammy's mind. Maybe y'all are as nutty as I am.
I think Sarah was just tuned out. That would have been a mass hallucination. Kendra heard it first. She's like, "What is that whistling?" I said, "No, it's probably the girls messing."
Was it like whistling to a tune or something?
Yeah. So maybe it was just a loud radio. Somebody playing some whistling on their radio. But that's unusual.
That's creepy.
It was pretty creepy. And then our security system went off in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And Sammy didn't hear that one. She slept through that one totally.
Oh, baby.
But Sarah came in. She was freaked out. This was a few days before. Same thing. I went, checked the whole property. Nothing, nobody. It's so dark out there, though. I mean, it'd be easy for somebody to be hiding around out there.
That's right. See, do you get scared?
So a couple creepy things going on, man.
Tell me about being scared of the dark. Are you scared of the dark?
No, not really.
What about as a kid?
I don't think so.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
Oh, I was.
I'm afraid of heights. That is my fear. I am a wimp when it comes to
Yeah, but you fly in a plane.
heights. That didn't bother me.
See, me either.
But to get up on my roof, scared to death.
Me too.
And in my old place, my neighbor Kurt would get up on his roof and just walk around, putting up Christmas lights.
Right.
2-story house.
Yeah, you know,
like, oh my God.
To me, it's the jumping off of a height is actually the fear that I have.
Jumping or falling?
Either.
Yeah, I'm afraid of falling.
Well, okay. So I literally have the stepping off of a height is my tremendous fear. Like, for example, even a high dive at like Pine Cove or wherever, I'm deathly afraid of that.
Yeah.
And I found out because I was with the kids at whatever on these big community pools. And, hey, Dad, let's jump off the high dive.
Oh, just the high diving board?
Yeah, 10, 15 feet up.
I'm okay with that.
No,
that
or a zip line. Oh, my gosh. And now I've done it. Now, actually the zip lining itself is amazing. It's the stepping off.
Yeah.
I know, which sounds so stupid. But anyway, back to the dark. So the dark, as a kid, I had to sleep with a closet light on because I thought there was something under the bed. Did you ever think any of that? Or something in the closet? Like Monsters, Inc.? You remember any of that?
I was never afraid of that.
Oh,
I thought
I was.
I had an imaginary friend that I thought lived in my closet when I was a kid.
I like that. I had one of those too. That's
a little nutty.
No, those are handy.
It's a little nutty.
No, those are handy to have an imaginary friend. He'd come out and write poetry with me.
Oh, now that's bizarre.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
Write poetry.
Well, we used to write poetry together. I'm just saying.
Heard of such
it's pretty good. It was,
I mean, mine was like when I was like 2 or 3 years old. My mom would tell me about it.
Mine was last week.
Later in life.
Last week.
Writing poetry.
Just kidding. It wasn't last week. This was as a kid. So, yeah. Now we'd write rhyming quartets. So, anyway. Yeah, it's just part of my weirdness.
We need to have an episode just to drill down into the
psyche
here a little bit.
I don't think so.
It's a deep dive.
I don't think so.
Be pretty scary.
But then just to wrap it up, so let's talk about Halloween. So tell me about your Halloween festivities. Do you dress up, like Barney or Elmo or anything?
I have a afro wig that I keep in my closet.
Okay.
And on Halloween, if I need to dress up, I throw that wig on, and that's all I do. And I go with my regular clothes. Andrew knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. I just go in my regular clothes, I throw that wig on, and I'm done.
Okay.
Piece of cake. Simple.
Well, that is good.
I don't want to put any effort into that. And before I had that, I would not dress up. I didn't care. Did not care. I was never into that.
Yeah.
As a kid I was, but not as an adult.
Did you take your kids trick-or-treating?
All the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Oh, yeah, our neighborhood here in Flower Mound was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did that every year. Yeah. We would sit out front. It was so crowded that we would just sit up front.
Right.
Neighbors were there. We'd set up snacks and food and just kind of hang out in lawn chairs.
Right.
Adults would hang out, and there's just thousands of kids.
Yeah.
Constantly.
And it's always
And I had this crazy neighbor who was a American Airlines pilot, and on the side he flew hot air balloons.
Oh.
And so on Halloween he would set up I don't know what it's called, like the basket gondola thing or whatever with the big flame thing on it.
Oh, that's scary.
Those things put off some heat.
Yeah, they do.
So he would be sitting in our driveway and we could feel the heat in ours. But he thought the kids liked it, but they hated it, right?
Yeah.
So the kids would be coming up and he'd pull that thing and I mean, the kids would be like coming into our house like in tears, like, oh my God, what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
You remember that, Andrew, right?
So obnoxious.
Yeah, it was so obnoxious. And I mean, you could feel the heat all the way next door.
That can't be safe.
This guy was nuts.
He was
nuts.
Safe.
It's crazy.
I will say people spend
those kids, that was a nice snort, Andrew.
Yeah.
Those kids are scarred forever.
Yeah, well.
Because of that.
I'm telling you, people spend a lot of money on making their entrance to their trick-or-treatville horrible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We had people doing a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, really scary. where they'll dress up as these creepy zombies or whatever, and they'll come out. Oh my gosh!
We had some neighbors that would set up a haunted house in their garage. So you go over there, and the kids would go down there and it'd scare the crap out of them.
I was on a run the other day, just in one of these neighborhoods, and there was a skeleton hanging from a tree, like from a noose. And I'm like, that's
horrifying.
That's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was running at night, too.
Even better.
It was terrifying.
No,
these kids, I feel sorry for these kids. These are the kind of kids that grow up, and they'll, in their teenage years, they'll have imaginary friends writing poetry with them, and they'll imagine they're hearing trains when they're in a hotel somewhere.
Whatever.
Just
that is taking it too far. That is poor. That is poor. So yeah, we did all the same thing. Except I like kind of just the lighthearted whatever. Just say, hey, give me some candy and keep on going. Oh, you look really cute. As opposed to the horrifying. Yeah.
So when you were a kid, did you like legitimately dress up, or did you have the plastic mask from Walmart?
Yeah, it was
a plastic poncho.
We didn't have much, so Mom would generally make something. I mean, like get a white pillowcase or something, put it on and say you're Casper,
Yeah.
Like good luck, I mean, so no, we didn't have fancy.
Ours weren't fancy, but they would be like, we would go to
the
Gibson's
plastic,
or whatever, get the cheapest little Superman face
for like a quarter.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and then you carry your pillowcase around and you fill it up with candy.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we did that. No.
And then a couple of years, we bought the little fake blood and did
dressed
Dracula
up as a vampire.
Thing.
Yeah, no, we did that
I used
too.
to like doing that.
I like that too. I didn't like slicking my hair back with Brill cream. My dad had plenty of Brill cream. We'd slick it back and I'd be like, "Oh, how do you do this every day, Dad?"
Get the fake fangs.
He'd have the comb over with the Brill cream, and it was not a good look. I don't know why he did that, but anyway, whatever. So, okay,
Halloween
it's
coming up
and
it's fun.
Texas,
what are y'all going to do this year for Halloween?
We're going over to my sister-in-law's, Leslie's, to their neighborhood. Since we live out in the country, nobody comes. If they come up, it's like, get your gun, because it's scary. They don't need to be coming up out to our, they just don't need to be doing that. Because we're out in the country, same with y'all, right? We're not
and our kids,
long driveway.
Yeah. If they're doing that, it's creepy. That's
admit.
where
you need to be out there with your chainsaw.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, run away.
Want some candy?
With a hanging skeleton in my...
Yeah, find a guy with a hot air balloon and have him set up like in the arena or something. So when it's dark, you can't see him. Then
no, that would be instant horror. So we're just going over to a neighborhood and we're just going to trick or treat and have fun.
So and I enjoy your boys still like to trick or treat?
Well, not so much. I mean, they're 15 and a half. So now it's really
Caroline doesn't.
Now it's really about the younger cousins, and so there's 13 of them, and now we're about to start having a slew of babies and all that, and so it's really about the younger ones. So they'll take the younger ones out, and it's always fun. So and they get some candy too. They like that.
Yeah.
So it's all
very
good.
cool. Very
Dimitri Martin has this really funny bit about Halloween, and he goes, Halloween is one of those holidays where, or he goes, Halloween is the only holiday where you don't have to spend it with your family.
Oh.
He's like, you don't ever hear anybody say like, oh, what are you doing for Halloween? I got to fly out to my parents' house.
That's true.
We gotta go trick or treating. My parents are actually divorced, so I got to get 2 costumes this year. So.
Oh, yeah. No, that's right. That's right.
That's good.
No, I'd say Halloween is kind of a junior holiday, for sure.
So, yeah, it is.
Anyway, well, all right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and horror movies. This is a good one.
This was a good one.
Scary, but good.
Yeah. Happy Halloween.
Hey, happy to you too. Okay, well, thanks everybody for listening. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Yeah, find us on Spreaker, iTunes, YouTube.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah, awesome.
Google Play.
Yeah.
Soon to be Spotify, apparently.
Apparently so. Okay, you guys have a great week.
Adios.
Yep.